Wait lang, magse-share lang po ako. Habang di pa tayo nagsa-start, huwag pong kakalimutan, like and share. We're on Facebook Live at saka YouTube live streaming. Paki-like and share yung video natin. Nag-share pa ako ngayon. Give me a few seconds. Nakakaloka. Nakakaloka pangyayari. Ay, mali. Kita nyo, ayan na naman tayo. Nagkamali pa tuloy ako. So, na-double yung share. Ayun. Share. Huwag mo kakalimutan, mag-like and share, ha? Siyempre, inulit ko yung sinabi ko. Excited, eh. Yan, okay. Magandang hapon. Ako po si Trixie Cruz-Angeles. Ito po ang Luminous. At siya, tapos na yung cautiously optimistic. Optimistic na po tayo ngayon. Nag-file po ng Certificate of Candidacy si Mayor Sara Duterte para sa vice-presidente. Okay, united na po tayo. But, tapos na ba ang laban? I don't think so. Remember, there are other political parties na nag-field din ng kandidato. And we should not count them out. Okay? Remember that, halimbawa, si Mayor Inday is running as Vice President. And sino ba ang mga tumatakbo bilang Vice Presidente? Let's start from the bottom. Kiko Pangilinan. And then in no particular order, Daquil Leong, si Sir Lito Atienza, former City Mayor of Manila, and Senator Bongo, who's running under PDP-Laban. So what does this mean? Well, it means, this means that we can't, there's nothing sure. Well, we know that extremely popular itong dalawang mga kandidato, BBM and Sara, Inday-Sara, then we are optimistic. Dati cautiously optimistic kasi pwede pang hindi siya mag-file. Ngayon, optimistic na po tayo, pero it's still siguruhan, which means that we have to work. Okay? Those of you who are supporting, those of us who are supporting these candidates, we still have to campaign. Because may kalaban sila dito. Ay, opo, nakalimutan ko. Of course, Senator Tito Soto, Senate President Tito Soto is also running for Vice President. So, remember that Senator Bato is a reluctant candidate. So, there might be movement dun sa PDP-Laban. Yan po ang that's what we're going to be watching for. Diba? We have to watch out for the candidates of PDP-Laban because, as they said, they are the predominant or dominant political party in the country. Much as we love BBM and Inday-Sara, their parties are not exactly the dominant party. Diba? Although Lakas CMD is a formidable party, and Partido Federal does have a history, we still cannot count out the machinery of PDP-Laban. Okay? Will Senator Bato de la Rosa withdraw his candidacy? It's possible. Will Senator Bongo withdraw his candidacy for the vice presidency? It's possible. It is also possible for Senator Bongo to file his certificate of candidacy for president. Because I seriously doubt that he would go against any member of the Duterte family. So if he still wants to maintain his candidacy, he still wants to run for a national position, then the only way to go is up, which means he may file a certificate of candidacy for president. Okay? So yun yung mga next. Then we're also going to see maybe some of the political parties might withdraw some of the candidates might withdraw their certificates of candidacy and support whoever are remaining, either Senator Go, kung Senator Go will maintain his candidacy for vice president, or support either vice president shall aspirant Inday-Sara Duterte. So Right now, I'm not discussing the possibilities who could possibly win and all that, because like I said, maaga pa ngayon. Anything can happen before the 2022 elections. It's not even campaign season yet. Campaign season for the national elections begins either late January or early February. Tapos for local positions, mag-uumpisa yan ng March. So, while we are very happy at the tandem, first of all, it's not yet officially a tandem. It is an unofficial tandem kasi magkaiba po silang partido. So meron nagtatanong dito earlier on, kailan nangyari daw na inadopt si Inday Sara ng Partido Federal. It isn't necessary to be members of the same party para alliance, tandem via alliance, not a tandem via political party. Pagka via political party, magkasama sila sa partido, pero pagka hindi magkasama dun sa partido, then it can be through an alliance. So kalimutan yun na kailangan na magkapartido sila kasi yun yung mga yun yung mga paraan. So yung mga kritiko na nagsasabi na lubang tug na yan, ginamit na yan before. Not exactly. Kasi 'di ba, hindi ganoon ka-significant noon ang vice presidential candidate ni President Duterte. This time around, itong election na 'to, ang mahalaga are the tandems, are the alliances, and including kung sino yung bitbit para doon sa senatorial race. So ibig sabihin dito, while there is a sense of jubilation, masaya-masaya tayong lahat, dahil ito na nga yung iniintay natin na tambalan, hindi ibig sabihin ito tapos na yung boxing. Or, if you don't want to use that allusion, hindi pa tapos yung gera. So, pwede nating kantsawan o i-heckle yung kabilang parlor that they stand only a snowball's chance in hell of winning. It doesn't necessarily mean na na smooth yung daan ng ating mga manok. So, the campaign, yung ating trabaho, kung gusto talagang maipanalo yung ating mga kandidato, the work starts now. Now we have to watch. May ilang araw pa, meron pang hanggang bukas para magbago yung mga positions na final ng ilang mga kandidato natin. Kapasalamat muna ako. Thank you kay Nathaniel Quinto sa super sticker. At kay Joe Ben Lahada, sabi niya, hello po, this is the first time in Philippine history that our President and Vice President get along together if BBM-Sara wins. Well, I think that, Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo did get along with her Vice President, Noli de Castro. So I'm not sure that we can say that this is the first time na magkasundo sila. Let's get them into position first. Ipanalo muna natin sila, di ba? Ganyan po yan. The reason I'm optimistic, but just cautiously optimistic. We're happy. But as in with any election, syempre, happy tayo, but we keep working on the campaign. It doesn't mean na panalo na sila just because nakuha natin yung candidacy. We still have to work on it. Bakit? We have to work on an overwhelming win. Hindi lang yung basta panalo, kailangan ipanalo ng very convincingly para that becomes now cheat-proof. Diba? So, if si Senator Bato, I understand, is going to withdraw his certificate of candidacy for president. So, don't forget, ulitin natin. So, merong iba naman who are willing to support a Bongo-Sara tandem, and that's okay also. But like I said, we still have to keep working. It's still, after all, a campaign. It's still, after all, an election. And we cannot discount the participation of PDP-Laban here because it is a formidable political party. Okay? So, kumbaga sa 2016 elections, walang tulugan. Let me check here. Sabi ni Eduardo Villarbon, attorney, please read my comment. Guys, you don't have to ask me to read your comments. I choose comments randomly. Partido Federal, Executive Committee, resolved that party has endorsed Senator Bongo, PFP's presidential candidate in the warehouse on October 5. So I really don't get what your comment is. We already know this. Okay. Rayson Flores says, yes, tama po ma'am, we need to work all throughout to put them in their seats. Diyan officially masasabi natin na elections are, election na, tapos na ang boxing. Pagka nagbilangan na, hindi pwedeng matulog. Diba? Ligaw namang yan has sent a super sticker. Maraming salamat po, Mang Yan. Okay. Remember again, this is an unofficial tandem until an alliance is formally made. Although, it's all over but the shouting. So it is an alliance. The formalization of the alliance is necessary. Natulog lang ako kung kailan ako nagising, doon ako parang nananaginip na super magandang panaginip. Hi, God bless. Okay. So again, while many are very happy with the entry of Inday Sara and filing of her certificate of candidacy as vice president, it doesn't mean that this is going to be a walk in the park, di ba? For every person who is happy about this, there might be a few people. For every million people who are happy about this, there are going to be a couple of dozen who are not, and we still have to keep working. Sabi nga ng isang close relative sa akin, tandaan, hindi pa po tapos yung threat ng kabilang parlor. Kasi kung paramihan lang, sanay sila ng laban na hindi sila madami. After all, in 1986, hindi naman sila madami. Ako ang iisipin nyo. Sabi ni Wolverine, many are saddened because presidente ang gusto namin. But in the end, it is Inday Sara's decision. And she has decided to run for the vice presidency. I think what remains now is for us to support her regardless of what position she has filed her candidacy for. Kung gusto niyo talaga si Inday. Diba? She's young. She still has a long and possibly quite illustrious hindi possibly, already an illustrious career ahead of her. So I think that this is, we know that she's going to run for national position. I think we should be happy with her decision and to be completely supportive. That's if you do really support Inday. Step 1 pa lang yan, sabi ni So Crazy, dapat wag muna tayo pakampante, ituloy pa rin natin ang pag-campaign for BBM-Sara para sa mga senators na pwedeng makatulong sa pagpapatuloy ng projects ni PRRD. Now, remember what we said earlier, that we should consider this a team. Okay? This is how to make it win. But if you consider it as a team, then the presidency, vice presidency, well, these are hold little importance now. Of course, the president is far more powerful than the vice president. Nevertheless, if it is a partnership, the president will be heavily relying on his vice president. May chismis daw, sabi ni Julius. Sa huli daw si Bato at Bongo aatras. Ang i-endorse daw talaga Duterte, Marcos at ni Duterte, Marcos and Sara. Well, I think that would be the icing on the cake here, di ba? But until that happens, then it's still optimism and not jubilation, which means we still have to work. Michael Otazu says this tandem will definitely usher in a progressive Philippines we haven't imagined ever. For those thinking that I'm very calm about it, actually tumalon-talon na ako kanina. And okay na, naidaos na yung, yung saya. So, ganyan naman noon, kung gusto mo maging presidente, dapat mag-VP ka muna. Malaki ang chance mo maging presidente. I don't think so. Iba na nga kasi ngayon ng panahon. Which means na just because Mayor Inday has run for the vice presidency now, she still has to decide later on if she's going to run for the presidency. But let's cross that bridge when we get to it.
Good afternoon, sir. We would like to invite you for our Halloween special. Yung black kasi namin
oh, okay. Kung may maingay dito, this is I'm in Pampanga right now. So, ingat pa din, may mga galamay pa rin ng kabilang parlor para makapantaya, di nila basta-basta matatanggap na sila ay matatalo. So the idea nga is for a decisive win. Hindi yung simpleng win, a decisive one, which means you need to get more people in there. So to get more people to see it the way we do. So anong paraan nito? Unang-una, hindi tayo pwedeng makipag-away. And especially, you have to be watchful na hindi makikipag-away dun sa mga kaalyansa. Especially then, hindi makikipag-away dun sa ibang mga pro-government forces. We don't have to convince everybody of the way that you're seeing, but we can try to convince those who are undecided. Yung iba kasi dyan, tapos na eh. Hindi na sila magbabago ng isip. Huwag na natin pag-aksayan ng panahon yan. Pero, you need to hold on together. You hold on the majority. At tigil na natin yung mga language of divisiveness, regionalism, 'di ba? Halimbawa, mas maano kaming taga ganito. Let's say taga probinsyang X, kami naman ang pinakamagaling diyan eh. Yung mga ganun na Itong Imperial Manila kasi, ayan, divisive po 'yan. Tandaan nyo kung ilan ang boto ng Imperial Manila, ha? And besides, that concept is no longer true. 'Di ba? What is Manila made up of? People from the provinces. A lot of them are transients. So Imperial Manila doesn't really dictate anything anymore. It's just a place. Verhiti Terante says, Lenny, iboto nyo para makalaya si De Lima na inspirasyon ng mga pink at sure balik drug republic ang Pilipinas. Grabe yung sarcasm dito ngayong araw na ito. Maraming salamat kay Lucy15. Sharing is caring. Teka, hinahanap ko dito sa yan. Sabi niya, good news, hindi pa tapos ang laban. Ilaban natin ang boto natin. Bumoto tayo ng matalo din natin ng Smartmatic. BBM-Sara 2022. Salamat, attorney. Yes. Ito, si Circle 8. Maraming salamat dun sa yung super chat. Super sticker. And thank you kay Rolando Sabilla, BBM-Sara dito sa LA. Ayan. Sabi ni Let Malipe, oops, yeah. Let's take a picture of our ballots. You're not going to be allowed to do that. Before putting these into the machine, it might help in case there's magic in the making. Hindi po, hindi kayo papayagan yan. The reason hindi kayo papayagan yan is it might be used to encourage vote buying. Yung pagkuha kasi ng picture ng balota, usually ginagamit yan para ipatunayan dun sa nagbayad ng boto ninyo na ebidensya. Sabi ni Joker siya, first time ba kung sakali Tandem ang mananalo sa eleksyon? Hindi po. Hindi ba Vice President ni GMA si Noli De Castro? Tama ba yan? Noli De Castro, di ba? Yeah. Jade Kevin Santos says, pakikamusta sa DPWH at DOH bukod sa baka masira flood control sa pagbabaha ng luha, baka full capacity mga ospital ngayon. Yun. Sabi ni Reynaldo Montiucat, there's a Marites in Intramuras I saw on YouTube who said Bongo is filing his candidacy for president today. A possible go ba to Tandem? Your thoughts? I already talked about this. Sinabi ko that there is a formidable party still in play, which is the PDP-Laban. And knowing Senator Bongo, he would never go against a member of the Duterte family. And so it is entirely possible that he would withdraw his certificate of candidacy for vice presidency and probably file for the presidency. That's if he still wants to run for a national position. So that is why for those who want this tandem to succeed, it is necessary to still continue with the campaign, hold on, and do not allow people to divide the alliance. Okay? Sabi ni Epifanio Montajes, game over na sa mga dilawan, tuwan-tuwa mga OFW sa BBM-Sara Tandem. Maraming salamat sa live update and more power. Okay? Like I said, ako always cautiously optimistic. Sa YouTube po kayo manood, dun po yata may super chat at super sticker dito sa FB. Oo, para dun sa mga gusto maglagay dun sa super chat at super sticker sa sa YouTube po yan. Hindi pa maiayos yung sa Facebook, but we will see over this weekend kung ano magagawa natin about that. Just in, Senator Bato de la Rosa staff says he's on his way to the COMELEC to withdraw his COC for president. And yes, of course, this was expected after nag-usap sila ni Inday Sara. And remember that Mayor Inday Sara and Senator Bongo they treat each other like family. So let's see. Ronelson Sanchez, thank you very much for your super chat. JMX Kapulong says, doesn't make sense if Go Bato would pursue to run. Mahahati ang votes BBM-Sara, although vocal, si Bato na aatlas if needed. All the best po. Yes, but it doesn't discount the possibility of Senator Bongo still running because yung last na salita niya was that bakit hindi kayo naniniwala na tumatakbo ako bilang vice presidente? Parang he considers that a challenge and therefore he will probably rise to the occasion but not as a candidate for vice presidency. It's entirely possible na that he could run for the presidency. Diba? Pergenson, thank you po dun sa super chat niya. Botog Landingin says, BBM-Sara's united. Now is the time for DDS and loyalists to unite. Yung walang parinigan, walang division, united we stand, united we succeed. Actually, dapat noon pa. What remains, the challenge is to keep the alliance together. Kasi matagal pa eh. Normally yan, kung the alliance was late in coming, kumbaga just before yung election, madali mag-hold on kasi sandali lang. Walang opportunity masyado para makapasok yung mga nega stars dyan. But which means that there is a lot of work to be done. Diba? Mamiya Poch, maraming salamat. Nag-umpisa na si Sara Te against BBM. Yes, and that's expected. Swerte natin, sabi ni G, ang mga matatalinong analysts na sa side natin, ito ni Trixie and Thinking Pinoy. Okay, thank you very much na nakahanay ako kay TP. Galing. Sabi ni Jeffrey Cascara, pwede mag-alliance ang Partido Federal, CMD at PDP-Laban. Pwede ba walang standard bearer for President and Vice President ng PDP-Laban kung mag-withdraw si Nabato at go? Yes, but it's not very likely kasi for a party that is the dominant political party, it has not happened before. Of course, that doesn't mean that it can't happen now. But let's see. It renders them weaker kasi if they have no standard bearer. PDP will go with Go as president and Digong as VP. What do you think? I don't think that the president will run against his own daughter. So, I'm so excited to have a president and VP that will work together for nation building. Let's keep our guard up. Wala pa rin matutulog. This is interesting. Coins and stamps to watch. Why Pacman went to Malacanang? Kalokohan naman na pinatawag siya ni Presidente. Well, it's not, kumbaga, the entry of a possible BBM-Sara tandem, alliance, is enough to make him reconsider yung kanyang candidacy. Kasi even if he might possibly not be able to make number 2, the question na lang is where will he throw his endorsement, in which direction? So I think he's seen the writing on the wall that fighting with PRRD, one of those popular politicians of our time, is not working. So dahil hindi umuubra yung ganong klaseng pamamalakad o ganong klaseng candidacy, malaking possibility po ni Senator Pacquiao na i-withdraw niya yung kanyang candidacy niya. But he might endorse or run for senator, posible din po, or endorse the candidate of PDP-Laban. So babalik siya sa PDP-Laban, this time under the Cusi faction. Maraming salamat kay Bella Canilao. Sabi niya yung iba solid Sara na ayaw kay BBM, dapat magkaisa ngayon. Team sila na iboto natin para smooth ang trabaho na lang dito. Isang tabi ang galit para sa pagkakaisa ng bansa. Ma'am Bella, to be fair I'm hearing that from both sides. Wag niyong iisipin na DDS lang po ang yung may pagkanega because nag-usap kami ni Boss John, if you last Friday, the what we were hearing were from both sides. That's why he pushed the idea that this is already a team, diba? Wag niyo nang iisipin na hindi siya team, and that the positions actually are irrelevant. So yung mga away-away over who is going to be president and all that, and even those who still have ill feelings about what position their candidate is going to run, unang-una moot na yan. Pangalawa, wag niyo namang iisipin na hindi nag-uusap itong dalawang to. Nag-uusap po sila. And please, wag naman na yung sasabihin na yung kabilayan kasi. Wag po. Kasi may ebidensya ako na it is from both sides. So wag rin natin, that's also causing a lot of division. Yung sasabihin ninyo, yung kabila yung ganyan. Hindi na po. Wala na pong kabila. Kung team sila, team na tayo. Wala nang kabila except yung kabilang parlor na 4%. So wag na po natin i-bring up yung mga ganyan or at least be on our guard na kapag merong magre-raise na mga ganyang issue, then then it's an attempt to be divisive. What will happen to Bato and Go? Well, in the next next 24 hours, marami pang pwedeng mangyari. Like I said, Senator Bongo can still file a certificate of candidacy for president. Ano kaya ang masasabi mo sa puro patutyada ni Yorme kay BBM? Nung una, pinuna niya si Lenny dahil lalaban siyang president kasi ayaw niyang may maupong Marcos sa Malacanang. Pero sa asta ngayon ni Yorme, lumalabas na galit siya sa pamilya Marcos, lalo na kay BBM. Let's put it this way, dahil kandidato si Mayor Isko, ang galit niya isn't who they are, but the fact that they're candidates na kalaban niya. Diba? The fact that they're candidates na could possibly defeat him. So that's where it's coming from. I don't think you take all of these things seriously. Hindi naman, kumbaga, may mga politiko talaga na instant yung kanilang politics, di ba? Instant yung mga paninindigan at paniniwala. Ngayon lang na naging kandidato, suddenly may stand sila on the Marcos family. So, huwag niyo masyadong siseryosohin yan. Ang patutsada dyan is simply because kalaban niya. And of course, BBM is the forerunner, presidential aspirant. Go Pinkle says, finally, Sara gets into the national office. In addition to her experience in Davao City, she will be even more hands-on in the national scene in preparation for the final hop of the 2028 presidency. Let's celebrate. Yes, but let's, be cautious pa rin tayo. Wow, ang dami ninyo. Sandali. Ang dami kong na-miss. Thank you kay Randy Bongolan for your super sticker. Si Go Pinkle, nabasa ko na po. Si Edwin Tayag, let us protect BBM and Sara at all costs. We know our enemies may resort to foul play just to stop them from a sure win. Let's be vigilant. Yeah. I agree. Thank you kay Ronaldson Sanchez. Thank you kay Ma'am Bella Kanila uli. Yung iba, solid Sara na ayaw kay BBM. Nabasa ko na pala ito. Team sila na iboto. Ayan, tama natin para smooth ang trabaho na lang. 2, isang tabi ang galit sa pagkakaisa ng bansa. I agree. Thank you. Grabe, dami palang super stickers at saka super chat. Thank you kay Ligaw na Mangyan ulit for your super sticker, Ronaldson Sanchez. Ma'am Mia Poch ulit. Okay. Meron pa ba? Akong hindi nabasa. Okay. So, tell me kung meron akong hindi nabasa, guys. Ito, Iking Abellera, greetings from Dubai. Maraming salamat din po. Just in, November 13 letter from BBM confirming Sara Duterte as running mate as per ABS-CBN Twitter. Yeah. See? You can have an alliance and be running mates even if you're not from the same party. Pinoy Kilas sent a super sticker. Maraming salamat po. Do you see Duque, sabi ni Perkinson, retaining post with BBM-Sara, lakas admin, any insights? I doubt it. First of all, I think that the president, whoever the president is going to be, and we're looking at a possible BBM presidency, they will choose people that they would trust. And I don't see a background between presidential aspirant Bongbong Marcos and Secretary of Health. Aris Magsanok Hernando, I saw testimonies. Oh dear, am I reading all of these? Sandali ano muna tayo, grabe, may mga napapasukan pa rin tayo ng mga Ito. Question, nakalagay sa pinost ni BBM na Executive Order September 18, 2021 pa na inadopt si Sara, papaikot ulit tayo. So, napaikot ulit tayo ni PRRD. Grabe talaga strategy niya. Pasok. I don't see why this is still relevant now eh. Diba? Like I said, it's an alliance. Diba? Kasi iba sinasabi nila, kailangan pang i-adapt si Sara ng Partido Federal. Hindi naman po. She can be in lakas and still be the running mate. Yun yung issue natin kanina. Shoes issue pa rin kay Imelda. Kasalanan ba ni Madam na maraming nagre-regalo sa kanya? Imelda shoes. But is that BBM's fault? Yun yung tanong. Di ba? Tulong-tulong and alert and be law-abiding citizens na tayo, pay government taxes, and makikita natin yung government taxes will pay. Ray Makuha says, sobrang magkasundo si na BBM at Mayor Sara at wala silang problema, pero yung ibang nagsasabing solid Sara at solid BBM, sana magkasundo din para mas maganda. It's a team. Make sure na you're not doing the yellows work for them, di ba? Yung mga ginagawa ng kabila, wag naman natin gagawin para sa para sa kanila. Sino bang mananalo doon, di ba? Okay. Thank you kay Jeron Abug. Sabi niya, by 2025 expired ang franchise ng bakit nawala? Greetings from Dubai. Sabi ni Iking Abeliera. Teka, bakit? Ano yung nabasa ko earlier on? Okay. Grabe yan. Nagkakaroon tayo ng ano ba yan, yung spammers? As I see it, even way back that the president is looking for a way out of PDP and his answer was PGMA. The president is wise and UPDP was Liberal Party aligned. I agree with you. DDS are loyalists, sabi ni Aris Magsano Fernando. This is the time that we unite together. Let us work hand in hand kasi ito na yung moment na babangon tayo muli at itutuloy yung pagbabago na simulan ni PRRD. Right. Remember that PRRD has not yet signified an endorsement. So let's see also. That's going to be a factor. Tandaan po natin. The president's endorsement has not been voiced out yet. So with finality, kasi alam natin whoever he endorses is also going to be a force to reckon with, which means that as long as his endorsement has not yet been given, then there's no cause yet for celebration, only cause for optimism. Rodrigo Raposa says from Bahrain, ano po kaya move ng USA? Kasi nababasa ko yung mga diniclassify nila, baka mangyaring Cory at Laurel tandem. Guys, ganito po yun. Of course, there's that possibility, but that also means that our candidates know of this possibility. Diba? Tayo rin, alam natin, we have a heads up. Meaning, it's going to be difficult for somebody to do things like that in secrecy. Kasi nga, it's been done before. When you repeat a particular strategy, na-expect yan eh. So, there are ways na salagin yung mga yan. Waiting na lang po for finalists ng Senate ni na BBM-Sara plus PRRD team. Sino po kaya bukod kay Attorney Larry? Well, that means, yun nga let's see. Kasi kung ano rin yung mga titinitignan din natin kung sino yung mga ini-endorso ng presidente at sino po yung ini-endorso ni BBM at ni Vice Presidential Aspirant Inday Sara. Let's see. Nagulo na naman yung equation natin. Nung una, madali eh. Ngayon, we have to re-evaluate. Definitely, hindi matatanggal dun sa listahan ko si Atty. Larry Gadon, di ba? Thank you kay Wilson Clave for your super sticker. Ito, Abigail Hines also sent a super chat. Sabi niya, magandang araw, magandang kinabukasan mula sa Geneva. Uy. Lani Teokson, thank you very much for your super sticker. Super sticker siya. Question po, pag nanalo si BBM at Sara, may sure higher chance na ba na magamit yung Bataan Nuclear Power Plant? Bakit po kayo fixated sa Bataan Nuclear Power Plant? Wala na pong laman yun. And even if you try to make a go of it, it would be very expensive kasi outdated na po yun. Ang dami na pong bago. Bakit kayo na-fixate doon? You're really going to have to tell me bakit bumabalik itong tanong na ito. Hindi ko po naiintindihan kasi kahit si Senator Amy, sinasabi niya na wala na pong laman yun. Watching from UK, kakagising ko lang, ano nababalita. Si Ma'am naman. Check niyo naman po yung mga posts. Nag-file po ng COC si Inday Sara for Vice President. wag na po bumoto inauguration na, wag, sabi ni Karen Harper, wag na po bumoto inauguration na lang gawin ng May 2022. Alam naman natin na si BBM-Sara mananalo. Ayang
That's a bad advice.
lang papers save the Mother Earth. Sayang lang papers. I understand that you're all very happy, but please be very careful with your words from now on kasi baka mayroong maniwala sa inyo. So please be very, very careful about your words online. Ha? We also don't know what the social media guardians are going to do about our posts. Remember that if they're going to try to do something to undermine the candidacies of the people that we like, they're going to do a lot of, they're capable of doing a lot of things. So kung kunwari, merong gustong mandaya, and let's say natuloy yung pandaraya na yon by negating us, by sidelining those who are commenting online, they can make it look like talo yung kabila talaga, yung mga kandidato talaga. So be very, very careful from now on. Paano na yan? Si Banat ba, ayaw niya sa tandem ng Marcos at Sara. Mag-big T na ba? Ay, grabe naman kayo, guys. Guys, ano naman kasi, si Byron, and let's deal with this, we respect each other's opinion, and you know, you don't have to subscribe to his opinions if you disagree. Okay? Kung hindi naman po kayo nakukumbinse, bakit po kayo nagagalit sa kanyang mga sinasabi na opinion? Let's just leave it at that, na hindi niya gusto yung pairing, and hindi naman natin siya pwedeng pilitin doon, di ba? O wala pong pilitan. Kaya nga po election kasi kusang loob tayong pupunta doon sa sa botohan at ilalagay natin yung napupusuan natin. Sabi ni Simon Narella, ano kaya ang ginagawa ni Salceda now? Okay guys, let's put it this way. Yung sinabi po ni ano ba si Kong Salceda ngayon, governor? Anyway, yung sinabi niya was his way of trying to influence a decision. Hindi ibig sabihin na mayroon siyang bolang kristal at at pinipredict niya yon. He was trying to manifest, he was trying to tell indirectly si Mayor Inday na dito ka na lang, presidency na lang, mas mabuti pa. Parang ganon. So, magkape po tayo, sabi ni, bakit nawala? Ano ba yung mga binabasa ko biglang nawawala? Teka, si Coins and Stamps muna, more power and God bless. Sabi ni Coins and Stamps, ano ba to? Hindi ko na nakikita yung lahat. Yun. Si Ma'am Vilma Wagas says, paano na yan? Yun yung kay Banat. Diyos ko. Sige, hanapin ko na lang yung in order. To those suggesting time sharing for the presidency, why share the 6 years if they can have 6 years each? Sino ba yung nagsasuggest ng time sharing na yan? Unang-una, it's unconstitutional. Di ba? Hindi naman sila pwede palit naman tayo, swap. Because they were elected to the positions that they're going to be occupying. Let's say, President Duterte, sabihin na natin na nanalo si Lenny. President Duterte and Lenny, pwede ba silang mag-time sharing? Hindi. Tayo mga botante, we put President Duterte into position as president, not as vice president. So they cannot swap. That's illegal. Hindi yan yung mga katulad ng speakership sa House na pinagbobotohan at pwedeng pagbotohan yan at any time. Diba? Loss of confidence and so on. Sana wag na natin isama si Banat by dito. May kanya-kanya na tayong opinion. Sabi ni Ma Early. Okay. Huwag lang tayo mag-away, di ba? Ano kaya ang susunod na kabanata ng mga dilawan? Pinklawan, NPA, Makabayan Black at ibang anti-BBM. Expect natin ang propaganda ay more propaganda pahirakan ng BBM at Sara Tandem. Bakit daw niya nasabi yan? Okay. Well, let's see. Okay, so may mga pangyayari ngayon. Medyo exciting pa po sa Comelec. Babantayan natin yan. Yeah, okay, guys, don't relax. Dami pang mangyayari. Again, like I said, PDP-Laban is a formidable party. It is still the dominant party and we have to watch what's going to go on there. if Senator Boto withdraws his certificate of candidacy, we're going to have to wait for what PDP-Laban is going to, who PDP-Laban is going to field as the presidential candidate or who they will endorse. So, hintayin lang po natin yan. Ask ko lang po kung anong advantages, sabi ni Miguel, ni Mayora Sara Duterte, maliban po sa pagiging anak ng presidente. She is the mayor of Davao City, and if you don't know what Davao City is like, then you may need to rethink your opinion here. Davao City is like a small country. It's huge, it's diverse, it handles so many things. It has a range of indigenous peoples and corporations, di ba? Multinational corporations in there. It's like a small country. So the experience of that is quite significant. It's like being it's like why aren't you asking the same question of Mayor Isko? But in fact, these executive positions are good training grounds for the presidency, which is also an executive position. I would actually question those who have been in the most of their political lives as legislators. Magawa kayo ng batas, iba po yan, nagpapatakbo ka ng isang buong gobyerno. That's why they're called local chief executives. Ang mga mayor po, sila po yung presidente. In fact, yun ang tawag dati ng presidente municipal ang tawag dun sa mga mayors na mga city mayors or municipal mayors. So the executive position training has been quite significant in Inday Sara. I mean, she's not just a single term mayor, she's been mayor before. Baka may namimiss ako. Thank you kay Ma'am Elisa Gascon. Sabi ni sanay na natin na walang H ang pangalan ni Inday Sara. Oo, guys, please, can you please spell her name right? It's S-A-R-A. Mamainis na naman siya. What kind of fake news will the likes of Maria Ressa, sabi ni Chef, and the rest of the Pink Clown journalists going to throw against Inday Sara? Just like what they did towards her father. Well, they're going to go for the most obvious, like what they're doing with, and they're going to start with that one. So, the time that she allegedly beat up sheriff because she had asked him not to serve the writ of execution muna, di ba?
No word of honor.
Ha?
No word of honor.
Ayun, wala daw, yung isa pa, yung wala daw isang salita, sabi hindi tatakbo, and so on. Medyo mabababaw yung mga yan. So, but still expect that to happen. Now, they can also do to her what they're doing to BBM and make her responsible for the quote-unquote sins of the father, di ba? So, marami pa rin pwede. I'm not saying that they're very good at it, but they're going to try. Off-topic, may ginagawa na po ba ang government? So, why are we discussing off-topic right now? Kay former Ochoa, I don't know, sir, because parang hindi siya pinapatulan right now. It has not received the traction that it deserves. So, ang dapat ginagawa kasi ni General Parlade is not a simple expose. If there is a legal basis for a case here, then he presents himself as an ideal witness. He can file the case, if any. Adrian Agawa says, what if the petition to disqualify BBM prospers and COMELEC disqualifies him? Can Sara be elevated as candidate for president since there's an alliance between PFP and Lakas watching from Qatar? Yes, a substitution can happen due to disqualification anytime before elections. So as to who who will substitute, di natin po alam. But yes, I don't like to admit of the possibility of presidential aspirant Bongbong Marcos being disqualified. But if the unthinkable and unacceptable happens, then yes, he can be substituted anytime before the next elections. And kung hindi po mababago yung balota, then whoever substitutes him, kung the ballots that were counted for BBM can be credited to the new candidate. Thank you kay Devin Bartowski for your super sticker. Bawal ang tambay sa Malacanang, no to BBM, sabi ni Rolando Plaza. Good luck with that. Abby Wright says, meron po ba batas na nagbabawal magsuot ng color red pag mag-a-apply ng national ID? Bawal daw kasi at pinauwi mga applicants sa San Pedro, Laguna. As far as I know, no, but they might it might be because it's overwhelming for the ID. There might be a rule dun
Parang
sa,
green screen, they can crop it out. They can put another color.
nga, may green
Kaya-
screen ba?
Parang yung sa kanila, red screen. So you can
Ah.
erase it, you can put a suit and tie.
Ah.
Ganyan.
So it's to what?
Yeah, parang green screen. It can be substituted for anything, for any dress. So
Oh,
pwede,
yes, but the question is, pwede bang, may rule ba against the red shirt?
naman. Pero
Wala.
green kasi ang request.
So, yun, as far as I can tell, there's no law,
Wala.
but there's, they can institute a rule. It's possible for there to be a rule if it overwhelms nga the ID picture, or there's some technical difficulty with the coloring of the camera. Pwede po yan. They can actually, there's some passport pictures na nire-require, or yung pagka nag-a-apply ka ng visa, some of the embassies or consulates require a particular color, like plain colored only, or light colored only, or yung iba white colored. So, yeah, it's possible. It really depends. But I haven't heard that yet. So you're going to have to check yung rules dun sa national ID. Hello, welcome to all the pillows. Sabi ni Chukoy Koy, who are watching right now, pillow is pink na yellow. Interesting, but it makes you make them sound so comfortable. Rovi Ann Mamukod says, PRRD once said that he's open for the possibility of running in the Senate. Tuloy kaya siya. I think makakatulong yun para tumaas din ang popularity ng mga pambato ng ruling party sa PDP. Yeah, it's still a possibility. He can be a candidate, but he's going to do it by substitution. Right now, hindi siya nag-file eh. Paano if napasa ni Bato ang withdrawal ng kanyang candidacy, makapag-substitute pa ba si Bongo niyan? Yes. Anytime before the 15th. To be included in the ballot. But anytime after that, pwede rin. Okay. If ever po ba ma-disqualify si BBM, guys, bakit iniisip niyo na yun? At nagkaroon ng people power uli dahil dito, meron bang possibility maluklok si BBM on the spot katulad ng nangyari kay Cory? Ganito po ko sa yun. Kapag nag-revolution, wala na rin constitution. Wala na lahat ng mga rules. So, whoever wins that, quote-unquote, di ba? Kasi hindi natin sure kung ano mangyayari in case na magkagulo, whoever seizes power will determine what the rules and what the laws are. There will be no constitution. And that's the only way they're going to legitimize themselves. Sa aking palagay, kaya tumakbo si Sara sa vice kasi insurance natin yon dahil baka may gawin sila kay BBM if ever manalo. Yes, but I think that could possibly be one of the reasons. Yeah. Sabi ni Diamond Tison, pa-shoutout naman nanay ko, Mar, at kapatid ko, Ken na lumundag-lundag sa sobrang saya, BBM-Sara. Sabi ni Diamond Tison. Okay, shoutout po. Lani Teoxon, maraming salamat sa super sticker. And Vandy Bongolan, again. Okay, Vanelson Sanchez also. Sabi ni J. Matthews, kapag nag-RevGov, walang kasiguraduhan ng bansa. I agree. It will really depend on who leads it, Ferdinand Sagala, in my opinion, tama lang po na BBM-Sara for 2022, tapos sa 2028 po ay Sara for President. At least di siya magugulat sa dumi ng politika ng national. 12 years of good governance. All of these things are good to hear and good to say. But like I said, kapag may nangyayari, there are things that happen in between That's why ganito. Kaya kailangan intindihin niyo din yung mga tao who are saying better Sara BBM or Kesha BBM Sara, etc. Because that is the possibility now. What happens later on, hindi mo makokontrol Even if Sara is vice president, it doesn't necessarily mean that she will run for president later on. You're just talking about the possibility of her running. And then you also have to see what happens in the next 6 years that will that will also be a major factor in the winnability and popularity of a future candidate. So yung mga ganyan, that's real talk lang. It makes us feel good. But work still has to be put into it. Di ba? Hindi natin pwede sabihin, ngayon, Ngayon, si BBM, sa 2028, si Sara. What if in between that something happens? You don't know. So it's good for sloganeering, but that also means that the work that you put in now, it's not going to stop at elections. You're going to still have to campaign for her all throughout those 6 years. It means also that there is work for us to be done. For those of us who support Inday Sara, the work still has to be done, and you're looking at a long number of years of that, di ba? Dada Win says, what will happen during this election period? Mamatay ang tumatakbong presidente. Oh my gosh! Posible po bang may pag pumalit si VP aspirant at may ipapalit dapat? Okay, wait. Okay, habang kandidato silang lahat, walang line of succession dyan. Ibig sabihin, kung presidente ka, ang successor mo, vice president. Pero kung presidential candidate ka, you're talking about a substitution, and it can be anybody. Okay? Gemma Great says, uhaw na kasi mga tao sa pagbabago, nakikita ng lahat ang pagbabago sa panahon ni PRRD. At walang nangyari for the past 30 years, kaya BBM-Sara. I hope Sara will win. Then she could get the DILG post as Tignon, a woman heading a pack of armed forces. Hindi po armed forces under the DILG. PNP po ang nasa ilalim ng DILG. Ang armed forces po ay nasa Department of National Defense. Highly recommend to be nominated for, that's not gonna happen, guys. I'm aspiring for sainthood. Ma'am Pinay Paparazzi says, pwede ang dark. Sorry. She runs because President Tito Soto still uses the Senate investigation on family to drag down this administration, and without any filing of a case for those investigation for his benefit. I agree. Mali kasi ma'am kung nagsabi lang ng maaga si Sara presidente, baka si BBM mag-VP sa kanya. Minsan mali kasi eh. Teka muna, are you blaming her? Seriously? Are you blaming her for things that were happening? And on the contrary, it showed her character that she walked away from a sure thing. She was number 1 in the surveys when she walked away, but it isn't because it was her fault or nagbago siya ng isip. It was because there were some things that were not tenable. She was being asked to compromise certain things. Or at least that's the rumor. Okay, that's the rumor. Now, if those rumors are true, then you can't blame her for what's being done. In fact, you have to praise her for that, for the fortitude that she has shown, the integrity. Thank you kay Ligaw namang yan again for the super sticker. Mga naiwan ito pala, yung mga red. Okay, so Mylan Valencia says, ano po COMELEC ruling about premature campaigning? There's no such thing as premature campaigning. Ano po pwede gawin ng COMELEC? Wala. Tataas ang demandang kape sa May 9 para lang wag matulog to guard our votes. Opo. Ato, thank you kay Skewness88 for your super chat. Ito, sabi ni Marie Ann Filiana, is Martin Andanar's post legit? Won't go for president daw. Like I said, di ba, earlier on, yes. Uulitin ko po yung sinabi ko early in this live. Number 1, while we are happy with this tandem, or many of us are really ecstatic about this tandem, remember that the PDP-Laban is still a force to be reckoned with. It is the dominant political party and has immense machinery behind it. They have not made a statement regarding this tandem. Okay? And although Senator Boto can withdraw his certificate of candidacy, remember the last speech of Senator Bongo. He felt challenged by people who were wondering or asking about him as a vice presidential candidate. Therefore, diba, it's not a far possibility for him to file a certificate of candidacy for president. Okay? It's not a far cry. So he can file a certificate of candidacy for president because it might be untenable. Ibig sabihin, medyo awkward kung itutuloy niya yung kanyang candidacy against a member of the Duterte family. Right? So, May isang pro-Duterte vlogger na dinidivide ang BBM-Sara supporters kasi gusto niya si Sara daw ang tumakbo for president. Bitter daw mga BBM supporters. Guys, if you disagree, bakit niyo po pinapalaganap yung mensahe niya? 'Di ba? Kung hindi kayo sang-ayon dun sa sinasabi niya, bakit kayo ang nagkakalat nun? Bakit niyo binibigyan ng traction? I don't understand. Parang yung pinopromote yung hindi niyo gusto. Matanong ko sa inyo, ano yung ginawa niyo lately to promote Luminous as against that one? We're the ones who have been voicing out the opinions that you do agree with, but there's not the same number of shares as you do when you're talking about the opinions you disagree with. That's the question here. Diba? If you disagree with it so much, then it becomes questionable why you wanted to become more popular by talking about it. Hovan says, napapayahu ako, ayos lang po ang BBM-Sara kasi may malaking chance ang continuity sa lahat ng magagandang projects at alam na natin na may maayos na leader for 12 years. Again, that's a presumption. Stop making presumptions if you're not willing to put in the work for that. That means that you're going to, when Inday Sara wins for the vice presidency, then the campaign for her presidency begins on the day she assumes office as vice president. That's it. Okay? That means you have to campaign for her continuously for the next 6 years. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It actually might be fun. We did do that for the president. Consistent naman po si Sara na hindi siya tatakbo ng presidente. Oh guys, please, let's talk about something else. Christy Gabriel, baka morbid masyadong iniisip ng iba dito. Bakit morbid na? Guys, let's support BBM-Sara instead of being a Lenny who's been waiting since 2016 for PRRD to step down. Sana tumakbo din si Spox Harry as senator para dagdag sa mga pwedeng palit sa mga pinklawan na di na i-re-elect sa Senate. Yeah. Romnick Fulay says, good afternoon po. Masarap na tulog na okay na yung P at VP sa Senado na susunod natin sa mga bago manalo. Wag na yung pabalik-balik na ito naman ang pansinin natin. Super agree. Number si Inday Sara in the first place. Di yan pumasok sa utak niya. She stands by her principles and I truly admire her for that. Oh, actually, I'm a little disappointed that those people who have been saying that bago-bago kasi ng isip, as if it's a bad thing. Come on, guys, when the situation has changed, it is imperative for you to change your mind. So, yan. Isa yan dun sa propaganda ng kabila. Tatakbo naman, dami pang arte. Bago lang ng isip, walang isang salita. Ayan yung mga lumalabas. Why are you doing the opposition's work for them? Diba? That is my question. Sabi ni Ronald Buena, ang galing niyo po magpaliwanag kaya po I'm a huge fan of your program. Maraming salamat po. Iba dito, advance na mag-isip. Savor every win and loss. Be in the now, enjoy the ride. Sabi ni Karani. Hello from Hong Kong, sabi ni Ron Lacson. It's amazing na nangyayari ito sa generation natin. It's also the first time na very, very strong ang isang VP candidate as far as I know. Tama ba? No, only De Castro was also a sure win noon. What do you think will be the best cabinet position na dapat hawakan ni Inday when she wins as VP to show more her strength and services to the nation? Well, she's capable. I'd like to see her either in the DSWD or in the DILG positions. This gives her a nationwide reach, and kumbaga, it's like a form of campaigning. She'll be there when people need her, diba? Pwede po na term sharing, 6 years si BBM, then 6 years naman for Sara. That's not term sharing. Grabe, tumagal pala si Drilon ng 24 years. Ano ko yan, nagawa niya sa taon yan. I really don't think we should discuss downers this day. Any thoughts for guiding last will ni late Marcos na ma-execute daw once there's another Marcos who will become president? I still have to see what the provisions are in the will and if it has been probated. Okay? Kaya po kung naniniwala kayo na sa BBM-Sara, let's not entertain others if we believe sa tandem ng pagbabago, Pilipinas nating mahal, PH. Thanks, Attorney Trix. Yep. Attorney Trix, Sara is green, BBM is red and blue. Is this a sign na maibabalik na ang franchise ng Kapamilya Network? Are you serious? Come on. The reason that we're even talking about things this way is because there is no Kapamilya Network. Do you honestly think that this narrative would be allowed by that network? Huh. If Bongo pursues to run as presidential bid for PDP, that might be political suicide for him, sabi ni Florence Suba. I don't know. I don't know, guys. He's a formidable opponent. If I'm not going to underestimate Senator Bongo. That's the one thing we should never do. Never ever underestimate him. Remember, the malasakit centers are a big help to the ordinary citizen. Ang laking tulong yan. And we should never discount the connection it has to his name. Right? So the most dangerous thing for any supporter of either BBM or Sara that you can do right now is to get kampante, is to relax and think na panalo na yung election. No. There is the PDP-Laban. It is formidable. It has machinery and it has money. Okay? Now, what I don't think that they're going to go after in Sara, they definitely could put up a fight for the presidency. All right? So let's always take note of that. Maganda po maging DILG Secretary si Inday Sara para sapak ang aabuti ng mga tiwali sa gobyerno. Yeah, but it will be a legal one. Ali Rezada says, ang sarap naman sa pakiramdam ng ganito yung leader na susunod sa yapak ni Tatay Digong. I agree. Super agree with that. Daisy Powell, thank you very much. Napagtagumpayan na natin na magsama ang Tigre at Aglet. Tulungan natin sila na italaga ang nararapat na mga senador. Okay? Ako, I am, like I said, it's optimism right now, but not jubilation in the sense na tingin natin tapos na yung boxing. No, we have a lot of work, guys. We have a lot of work for the campaign, and always be wary of PDP-Laban. Okay, you have to check it out. And by the way, I'm not setting them up as a villain. No, but they are a formidable opponent, and if they still have the backing of President Duterte, that's something for us to think about. Diba? We have to give pause and think. If the president, remember, the president's endorsement has not come out yet. So that's another factor in these elections. The president's endorsement and where PDP-Laban goes. So let's not celebrate too early, and be watchful. Be watchful. Also, we have to now think about what the platforms are going to be. How is the continuity going to be established here? Diba? Yung continuity of the president's projects. The presumption of most people is that it's because BBM will continue the legacy of President Duterte, or that Inday Sara will ensure that continuity. I agree with that idea. But if PDP-Laban presents a stronger platform for continuity, what are we going to do? Now, that is a question that's going to be put to us if Senator Bongo files his certificate of candidacy. So like I said, let's be optimistic, but we still have to be watchful. Okay? And I'm not saying na meron tayong mga kalaban dito, but these are elections, and for the first time, these elections will be about issues and no longer too much about personalities. Kasi pagdating sa issues at plataforma, nauna na talaga si BBM. Diba? Umpisa pa lang, nung ini-interview pa lang, sunod-sunod pa lang yung mga interviews niya, siya pa lang nag-uusap about issues. Everybody was talking about destroying their opponents. So, he has a huge advantage here. But that doesn't mean na yung mga kalaban cannot catch up. So, it's a contest, guys. It's still a contest. It's still a race. Ang alam ko pa lang na siguradong talo yung kabilang parlor. Pero the others who do not identify with the other parlor, there's still some people to be watchful about. So, yes, be optimistic. And thank you, Mayor Inday, for we know that this decision did not come easy, 'di ba? Kung if there's something that we can and should be talking about right now is this. Mayor Inday is running as a candidate, and it may have come at a great personal cost to her. So, that would explain the reason kung bakit napaka-hesitant niya. Number one na siya, pwede na siya magpresidente. And yet, she had to fight. Diba? She had to fight to be a candidate in the first place. Remember, her father said if he had his brothers, kung masusunod yung gusto ni Presidente Duterte, hindi niya patatakbuhin si Inday. And so, even as we speak, there is a certain amount of nervousness, trepidation, kumbaga. Medyo, she's in this, she's in the race, and it's one of the biggest things that she's ever done before. But getting her to make this decision to run, it could not have come easy, and we should be able to, kumbaga, we should be thankful to her for having made a decision, even if it came at a great personal cost. And that she knows it's not going to be an easy road from now on. Madali yung while being mayor is relatively easy as compared to being a vice president, well, as compared to being president later on. Yung politics that went into the game before getting to this position of being a vice presidential aspirant, I think we should thank her. I think we should recognize this, 'di ba? Kailangan kilalanin natin what it took for her to make this decision. Hindi yan aksidente na naging last minute ito. At kaya nakakainis yung mga naririnig ninyo na itatakbo din naman pala, dami pang kaartehan. And lalo-lalo na kung nanggagaling yan dun sa mga DDS. Okay? Manggagaling sa DDS, sasabihin ninyo, arte kasi ilang beses na nga sinabi, boboto ko sana siya, kaya lang ayoko na dahil pabago-bago siya ng isip. Oh please, you don't know what it took. You don't know the kind of thinking, the kind of evaluation she had to do in order to get to this decision. The kind of discussions she had to have with her own father, with her own family, with people that she treats as family. Come on, guys. I have very little patience with people who talk about her in that way. Na ang tagal kasi, ang arte kasi, ang ganito. Excuse me? Di naman kayo, unang-una hindi kayo yung tatakbo. Pangalawa, you don't know what it took for her to get to this decision. Hindi ganun kadali yun. With BBM, di ba? Even BBM, he didn't file his certificate of candidacy until the day before the deadline. So it couldn't have also been easy for him to throw his hat into the ring. And let's not also forget Senator Bongo. I mean, I'm not, kumbaga, I cannot see myself as taking any pot shots at Senator Bongo. Because even his decision to file his certificate of candidacy as vice president must have taken some searching. But nobody comes close to Inday, to what she had to go through to decide this. So yun ang tandaan natin. Oo, tayo, ang saya-saya natin. Yay! BBM Inday, okay. But recognize what she has done to get here. And she did it because there's such a clamor. The clamor came from us. Tumakbo siya. Ha? The other thing that we also have to remember is that the Filipinos love the underdog. Ngayon, kung ang lakas-lakas ng tandem natin, nito, umpisa pa lang, hindi pa nag-uumpisa yung campaign period, it will be easy to shift opinion against the powerful ones. And if our tandem is the powerful ones, hindi na tayo underdog. And sino ba yung nananalo parate? Hindi ba yung underdog? President Duterte, as candidate Duterte, was the underdog until the day na nagka-meeting the Avance. That was the only time he became projected as the forerunner talaga. So, tandaan ninyo ha, you have to watch out even the way that we project our candidates. Sure, let's set aside a few days to heckle the opposition. Wawa naman, binabaha na siguro dun sa lugar nila. But don't forget, we still have to win this, ha? It's off to a good start. Kumbaga, the tandem is off to a good start. But we still have to put in the work. Okay, don't forget. And please, let's spell Inday Sara's name right. S-A-R-A. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Maraming salamat sa pagsubaybay sa Luminous nitong araw na ito. We'll go back online later today if there are changes in the candidacy. If, as we have stated, as we have stated, we're still going to have to watch out for the movements of PDP-Laban. Okay? And sino yung nagsasabing troll? Ito, sabi ni Ma'am Pinay, I refuse to be dragged into a my candidate is better than your candidate war. What for? Egos or bruise? Because Sara is now a VP candidate. Kasi naman, bakit ba feeling spokes kayo ni Mayora? I love it! Ayan, sabi ni Geraldine Campo, I don't think DDS po yung nagsasabi na maarte po si Mayor Sara. We truly admire and love Mayor Sara. DDS loves Sara. We can't afford to say bad words about her. Yeah, but nevertheless, that's what they said. And ako, I beat that person to a bloody pulp. I mean, only figuratively speaking. Na yung mga tipong, ha? Talaga? Kaya lang, sinasabi nila kasi, ang sinasabi niya, kaya BBM ako eh. Kasi, si Inday, pabago-bago ng isip and all that. Oh, please. Diba? Ito ako naniniwala sa'yo. Sabi ni Chev, uy, bakit ang bilis kasi umakyat eh. Sandali. Tiny Luminous, heto po ang troll, Rolando Plaza. Hindi ko naman siya nakikita eh. So, what is he doing to you guys that merits the position of troll? Hindi ko pa nakikita. Sige, we'll check it out later. Okay. Ito, sabi ni Janice, and I like this one, everybody is smiling. All right, yes, smile and have a good day, everybody. We'll go back online. We'll see what PDP-Laban is going to be doing. Which remember that the entry, let's say, assuming that Senator Bongo does file his certificate of candidacy for the presidency, we will have to, we're going to have to start being more circumspect. We have to evaluate what this is going to do to the tandem of Marcos Duterte. Remember, the reason I think that Senator Bongo might file his certificate of candidacy for president is because he doesn't really like the idea, and nobody does. I don't think he likes the idea, or I don't think he would ever run against a Duterte or a member of the Duterte family or the immediate family of President Rodrigo Duterte. So, nevertheless, kumbaga, this now becomes a more cerebral, a more issue-based election. And I think I welcome that. That should be a good note that we can end on then for this live. So we'll see you later, assuming na may magbago dun sa PDP-Laban. Remember, they're not going to fold up, pack up, and then agree to somebody else's candidacy. Okay, maraming salamat sa pagsubaybay sa Luminous. Don't forget to like and share. Maraming salamat sa lahat ng nagpadala sa super chat at super stickers natin, and everybody also who watched. There are 8,000 live views today. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. We'll see you later. If ever, keep your fingers crossed.